Throughout history, tattoos have been used to express many different things about people in various cultures. From the Egyptian mummies to Buddhist monks to people in the 21st century just getting tattoos for fun. They serve a myriad of purposes for hundreds of cultures. Tattoos have been used to communicate ideas and standings for millennia. One of the first instances of tattoos being used was Otzi the Iceman. Otzi was frozen in an alpine glacier for around 5,300 years. He had 61 geometrical tattoos which appeared to be aligned with medical practices, like acupuncture. He seemed to have many problems, ranging from Lyme disease to stomach ulcers, and the tattoos were used as a healing practice. This could also allow those who practiced medicine at the time to see where he might have existing or past problems, and effectively communicated that to them. For a long time, Egyptian mummies with tattoos were believed to be the oldest instances of tattooing. Their tattoos were primarily art and figurines. Both Egyptian men and women had tattoos. The tattoos on one of the more prominent mummies were sacred motifs like scarab beetles, lotus flowers, cobras, and more, which led the researchers to believe that she was a high-ranking official like a priestess. Not only can tattoos help teach you more about ancient history, as with Otzi and the Egyptian mummies, but they are also used to document history and important events from the past. For African American culture, tattoos are used to record meaningful parts of past events. Many people will get tattoos of people like Martin Luther King Jr. or Angela Davis to remember triumphs and tragedies that they have celebrated and endured. Some common tattoos that people have done include panther heads or cotton flowers. Not only to record their pasts, the African American community uses these tattoos to celebrate their heritage and culture. People have also gotten tattoos of things like the Hiroshima bombing to commemorate the horrific events and things family members and ancestors have gone through. There are also other cultures of tattoos. For example, the LGBTQ+ culture. There are many flags representing each letter, each with their respective meanings. So, someone who identifies as part of this community might get their appropriate flag tattooed. Pink triangles are also a significant tattoo, due to the fact that during the Holocaust, homosexual males were forced to wear a pink triangle on their clothes. Freedom rings are a symbol usually worn, but sometimes tattooed, to represent happiness, pride, and diversity.
Within a village or tribe, tattoos would symbolize achievements that anyone could recognize.
You could tell if they were a member of a tribe or a clan, or they might even have special tattoos related to their family. Of course, there are lots of tattoos that had things to do with social achievement. So like if you were a warrior on the battlefield, in many indigenous tribes I've worked with, only warriors could receive specific forms of tattoos due to the feats of bravery that they performed on the battlefield. So if they had beheaded somebody and taken their head, or if they had wounded somebody, or if they'd captured, an enemy, and most of the cultures I worked with in Asia and other places, only men who would, perform these feats of bravery could be tattooed with specific designs that even their enemies could recognize. So,
for example, there's a tattoo in the Samoan culture called the Samutu that goes around the abdomen. The number of lines in the Samutu depends on your social status. A Mai Tai, or the chief, would have 4 bands, an orator 3, and the rest of the population would have 2 bands. In Philippine culture, men would get tattoos depicting their strength and accomplishments, while women would get tattoos representing their beauty. The men's tattoos most often cover the whole body and communicate their age and tribal seniority. The women's tattoos, typically more delicate and floral, were used to enhance beauty. On the other hand, tattoos would also be used to display crimes. One reason that tattooing in Philippine culture is looked down upon is because it was something done by felons and criminals in the prisons with their free time. In ancient Greece, tattoos would be used to label slaves and criminals, so if they escaped, they would be easily identifiable. The offenses of the criminals were tattooed into visible places, such as the forehead, so anyone could see them. Voluntary tattooing was historically looked down upon by the Greeks, But one form that wasn't looked down upon was using tattoos to pass on messages through enemy lines, a surprisingly effective way of communicating during wartime. Many Russian criminals are tattooed with symbols that have consistent meaning throughout the area. For example, a cat shows that you are a thief, and having more than one shows affiliation with a gang. Similarly, stars can represent the number of years spent in prison. Many tattoos have a more magical connotation for the wearer. In the Philippines, tattoos like the scorpion, centipedes, snakes, and more are considered to have magical qualities, as well as a deeper meaning to the wearer of the tattoos. Tattoos in the Buddhist culture, also known as sakyans, often contain geometrical patterns, sacred mantras, and animals, as well as revered deities. Typically worn by the Buddhist monks, sakyans are believed to have various magical abilities, like invincibility and protection. One of the most popular sakyans with foreigners is called the hatao, a tattoo with 5 distinct rows, each one with a different blessing. The first provides protection, the second reverses and protects against bad fortune, the third protects from black magic, the fourth provides success and good luck, and the last boosts your attractiveness and charisma. In a way, it's like they're communicating through to something higher to bestow these blessings upon the person who wears the tattoo. Similarly to Buddhism, the Hindu religion also uses tattoos and have produced some of the most famous tattoo images. The Hindu tattoos are particularly reverent of the gods, and there are certain limitations to where a tattoo of one could be placed because of the disrespect it would communicate.
Another form of tattoos is semi-permanent tattoos. The first thing that usually comes to mind are the little tattoos you get in gift bags as a kid, but there's actually different forms of semi-permanent tattooing. One of those ways is mehndi or henna, a form of semi-permanent tattooing in the Indian culture. Certain spots can have different meanings when henna is placed there. For example, henna on the palm of the hand represents ability to offer and receive blessings. On the back of the hand, it represents protection. Some popular designs in henna are the Sahasrara and vines and leaves. The Sahasrara is an ancient symbol which is believed to unite the soul with the divine force. Vines and leaves symbolize devotion and vitality and are often used in traditional wedding henna. Another form of semi-permanent tattooing is semi-permanent makeup. Makeup is used by many people to express themselves just like any other form of art. The most common tattooed facial makeup is eyeliner and having the eyebrows done. Something that's been recently popularized is getting fake freckles tattooed onto the face. No matter whether it is fully permanent or not, every form of tattooing is a way to express yourself and communicate to the world. Nowadays, a lot of tattoos that people get aren't traditional and don't really have set meanings. People use their tattoos to stand out and to express things about themselves. People get tattoos to commemorate loved ones who have passed away, as well as those still in their life. It is a constant reminder of people most important to you. Tattoos may be used to people to memorialize heroes and those they look up to. Many tattoos are symbols with a deeper meaning and story behind them. Ultimately, people use tattoos to express themselves, whether it has a much deeper meaning or just because they think it looks nice. To many cultures, tattooing is a very important aspect of life. As one can imagine, they cause a large amount of pain to receive. Because of this, if you do not finish your tattoo, you could be thought of as weak or cowardly by society. Other cultures frown upon having tattoos at all. As a result of these, tattoos have different meanings to each individual, whether it could be a family tradition, represent something they have done, or just be for fun. They are an interesting and intriguing way of communication that should be brought to light.